Well, a certain group of people, I don't
Yes.
know if they're under PTAD now, that might not be singing that song, or people who picketed the Bureau of Public and Enterprises yesterday.
Okay, that's the electricity sector
yes,
members.
workers. Are they captured under PTAD as well?
Some of them are captured under PTAD. In fact, we inherited the payroll from NEMCO, that's the Nigerian Electricity Liability Company, when PHCN was unbundled, and we have about 12,000 pensioners, and they are getting their monthly pension payments from PTAD as we speak.
They are?
Yes,
so
they are.
Definitely not the people who were protesting or picketing the office of the BPA yesterday, because some of them were talking about severance packages. Are you also in charge of that?
No, we pay the monthly pensions and the gratuities.
Well, PTAD only takes care of federal workers,
Yes.
people who worked in the employment of the federal government, and you're currently going around the states
Yes.
to verify some of your workers. And in some instances, you visit state governors to, tell them why you are in their state and what you're seeking to do. And you
Yes.
do know that quite a number of states have not been able to pay salaries in some instances, and in some instances, in many instances, their
Yes.
pensioners.
Yes.
What do you tell the state governors in that regard? Do you have a message for them?
The message I'll have for them is that we all sing the national anthem, and a verse that says, "The labors of our heroes past shall not be in vain." If they deny the pensioners their pay, their labors will be in vain. And I think also my visits to the states, the governors get to hear of what PTAD is doing. And while we're in the states as well, we pay the state pensioners their federal share. Before Nigeria was broken into states, we were regions, and federal government workers were working for Nigeria. So they're entitled to the federal share of their pensions. So I think the governors are taking a cue from our verification exercises, our processes, not only the process of doing the verification, our payment processes as well, and our budgeting method of clearing our liabilities. And I think most of them will, at the end of the day, take a cue from what PTAD is doing.
Well, we sincerely hope that they do, because only recently even the president was worried about it, and he spoke to traditional rulers to prevail on the governors
Yes.
to try and pay workers their salaries and pensions, because the federal government has rendered the help that it can.
Yes, I mean, all we can do is to appeal to them. We have no authority over the state as PTAD to get them to pay. But luckily, what the federal government is paying as federal pensions is what is keeping the state pensioners going. And I'm glad to say federal government is meeting its pension obligations monthly.
How much would you say you've disbursed so far in the 1 year that you've been there?
Okay, I know our monthly pension payments is 7.5 billion every month. Parastatals pensions alone takes up 4.4 billion monthly.
7.5 billion. And the federal government
Monthly.
has prioritized this, because,
Yes.
only recently there were complaints. I think, taking a cue from Mr. Afolayan now, he said that the federal government released about 54 billion. The minister confirmed that she released 42 billion at the hearing done by the House as a part of the federal government's contribution for the contributory pension scheme.
Yes, that was released to
Yeah.
PENCOM to
So
pay their backlog.
There were questions as to whether or not the federal government was prioritizing pension payments, and whether or not PTAD was also getting what it ought to get when it ought to get it to take care of the pensioners that it needs to look after.
Oh yes, we are getting our monthly pension payments. The contributory one, the 54 billion Mr. Afolayan was talking about, which was 42 released, was given to PENCOM to clear the backlog of pensioners who retired since 2015. Then also, government prioritizes pension payments. The president had set up an interministerial committee on pension liabilities. The chairman of that committee is the Minister of Finance. Then the executive secretary of PTAD is the secretary. Membership is drawn from the DG of PENCOM, the DG of Budget Office, the chairman of the Military Pension Board, the accountant general of the Federation, then a representative of the head of service. Bear in mind, head of service used to handle pension payments before the inception of PTAD. And this committee sat down and reconciled all the pension liabilities from the 4 major pension administrators and came up with the figure of 407 billion. It was out of this, part of this, that the minister now did her projection as well and presented to FEC for the approval of about 704 billion pension liabilities for the minister, with the Minister of Budget, to raise promissory notes and bonds to be able to clear these pension liabilities. So yes, government is prioritizing.
407 billion is what government is looking at in terms of liabilities.
Yes, the liabilities from the four major pension administrators, PENCOM being the largest share of that, yes.
And for PTAD, you still think that your members will grow?
Our members will not grow significantly. Our members will probably reduce more, because what we are doing with the verification as well, bear in mind, we inherited payroll, unverifiable payroll. So what we're doing is to verify the payroll to get the exact amount of pensioners. Then we do the harmonization and the computation of the payments so that we eliminate underpayment or overpayment. The only place where our liabilities will grow is in the case of the 33% arrears, which we have not been able to clear. We've paid a few months, some months out of the 49 months being owed the pensioners under the defined benefit scheme. But these liabilities of the 33%, it's still included in the federal government's total liabilities, total pension liabilities, that the minister got the approval from FEC for them to raise bonds to be able to clear it.